All right, good morning, good afternoon, and welcome to another Radio 2H Radio 223 with well, actually, we're continuing with we're going to start and continue with something brand new. We've just completed the entire news segment of our learning just this past weekend on Saturday, and so we are moving to lesson 58 now, which is promotions and queue builders, executions and strategies, part one of nine. There's already a nice little link here to go have a look at for yourself how to plan radio promotions. What I want to do is leave the embedded link, so you'll see that there's another one here coming in on the second slide, and I think there's another one at the bottom. I think it might be the same one, the cloud on here, that is available for you. Just to go and do a little bit of added value learning there. What I've done, as I normally do, is I lined up some great videos that we're going to have a check through or walk through, and learn a little bit more about starting our own radio promotions or building our own radio promotions, right? So, okay, I hope you are doing well. If anything, once again, you can just contact me directly via WhatsApp on 0726435502. And if anything needs to be escalated to our HOD, then just let me know so that I can just pass you over to Grant. Okay. All right. So, what do you know about radio promotions? Let's talk a little bit about radio promotions, why they are important. So we can, basically call them a competition, I suppose, in most cases. And why we hold competitions or promotions are for two people, right? One is the listener and one is for our clients, because both are very important to us. One is actually not more important than the other. Um, Listeners are our main focus, but the thing is, we will not have radio without clients being able to bring in some revenue for us, and we will definitely not have any radio without our listeners being there to listen and enjoy these like great rewards that these clients bring through to them. So it's experiences that we might give away. It might be actual, like, money is always the best thing to give away. It could be like a car, it could be a house, it could be whatever it may be, right? And there's so many different options, and ideas that we could start to explore. We could treat your dog to free veterinarian services and pampering or whatever it is for a year, and work with the SPCA or work with one of those high end pet brands. We could look at, I suppose, like a Mother's Day, competition or promotion, or a Father's Day promotion, or your own birthday promotion, or our birthday promotion. There were so many different things that I could sit and ramble and ramble and ramble on about. But I guess I shouldn't, right? We should get actually to the lesson. So in the next couple of lessons, we're going to learn how to build a promotion, right? Just here in this first one, we're going to learn about the introduction to just some aspects to get our heads wrapped around the right ideas and right place. Just move that up just a little bit. What is a radio promotion, right? Well, they creative forms of self-promotion that you can use to make your radio more popular with your listeners. So once again, listeners are being rewarded. They like to hear it. It is part and parcel with what we do on radio. There isn't a radio station that is alive that doesn't service their client. I'm saying their listener client, by giving them something in reward or thanks, basically, for being a loyal listener and, obviously, being a friend, to our brand. So we do this all the time. You find it everywhere, as you know, as I've just said there as well. For example, there might be a competition where I'm sure you've heard of this one, right? There's like a car sitting there, and everyone who's able to reach out and touch it is an entrant to the car. I'm saying car giving away the giveaway. What happens if you are the last person left touching the car, you're gonna win this brand new car, right? And this can carry on for, I mean, that's where obviously the really great entertainment part of of this, because all competitions need to be entertainment or infotainment or educational, I suppose, in and or one or the other, to be able to make it sure that it is still falling within the rules of what great content for radio is all about, right? So anyway, it's our person who's really determined, and I mean, if I needed a car, I had no money or no option here. I think I could maybe last a couple of days. Why not? But I think I'm not the only one who could do that. So this thing could carry on for maybe 5, 6 days, 7 days, 8 days. Who knows, right? Who knows? And again, the competition can just be aired and broadcast and obviously covered. Great, obviously promotional option for the partner that we might use. So we might use like a Hyundai or Ford or maybe even an independent product. I say so. I'm trying to say someone like a product that is not linked to cars. It could be, for example, Handy Andy. I don't know, but Handy Andy wants to also give away like a car. So we're cleaning up your house, but we're also cleaning up your life. Want to give you a car, house, or whatever it may be. On top of. It doesn't matter. That this is great content and obviously great advertising for that particular partner. One of the many things that we must take off to know that our promotion is a win, right? At the end of the day, and excuse the pun there, right? So also called promos, giveaways, or contests. They will help you grow your audience, right? And when we say that, not attracting audiences from other stations, only maybe attracting an audience that might be listening to the same type of station, right? So your direct competitor might float over to you. But ideally, what we do is we attract more of our own target listener, the person that is definitely suited for our format, our structure, our mission statement, like whatever it is that our station is all about. And it's a good cupid, like it's a good match at the end of the day. More of those people, more of our people, we can go ahead and expect that more of those people might come along and stick around for some more radio just in general and become hopefully a P1 listener, someone that is loyal and listening every day, right? So again, here is a bit of a link. What I'm going to say, I'm not going to play I'm not going to read through this one. It's because I've got two videos here. Okay, the first one is a TED Talk, which I love TED Talks. I know that you love TED Talks, right? Because they're so amazing. And the other one is actually, it's quite a long one. I don't think I might play the whole thing, but it shows many, many great ideas that aired from different radio stations around the world. So best radio promotions around the world, and I'll play that in just a second. Right. Okay, I'm going to start off with the TED Talk because it's a nice introduction as to how to come up with a radio promo, good radio promo. We'll get into the semantics, and we'll get into the last video over there. So just give me a second here. Let me share this over here. There. Well, well, okay, I clicked on it. It's going to come up now. So here we go.
This is Next Radio 2016.
Sorry.
Broadcast Bionic.
Let me just contextualize. Sorry, I was going to say TED Talk. No, it's Next Radio. So Next Radio is basically like our radio days here that I don't think we actually had one this year. That's very odd. Anyway, used to have Radio Days Africa, but Next Radio is the British like get together of like radio professionals, media professionals that come through, sit down to talks, whatever it may be, share their ideas, and it's super awesome. Like you should definitely subscribe to Next Radio. Okay, let's listen to great radio promotional ideas.
Innovative solutions for creative people.
I'll start out by saying that as an American in the UK in September 2016, I will answer the question that I know I will be cornered about. No, I have no idea, and God help us. So In the US, our methodology for ratings is called PPM, and PPM is like tea leaves. You can look at it, and if you are a selector geek, you can certainly see evidence that supports your way of programming. If you're like me and like to toss midgets out of helicopters, there's definitely evidence that that works too. PPM has taught us a couple of things. The first is that even incentivized, very few people want to wear 1980s style drug dealer pagers on their belt. It hasn't taught us what brings people in, but it's taught us what drives people away. And this is shocking. I would never have figured this out, but long blathering talk breaks drive people away. That right there is worth PPM. Which is why in the US, a lot of times when they're looking for talent, they will say we're looking for somebody who is PPM friendly. I am not PPM friendly. I've continued to break myself of this habit, and it's been unsuccessful, and now I'm being timed. I have a finite amount of time to present some ideas. So I'm wearing an electric dog shock collar. All ideas seem great conceptually. I've talked to Kate. Kate seems to be the least sadistic person in the room.
How's it work?
Okay. If I go longer than 60 seconds, hit number 1.
Okay.
If you hit number 2, I will go number 2. If you hit number 3, decades of work by psychiatrists and chemicals will be immediately reversed.
Okay.
And if you hit number 4, the power grid to Liechtenstein will go out.
Okay.
Number 1. And if you even...
Can I try it now?
No! So we're going to start with 17 or 18 ideas. Live Eye, The Fugitive, we know, is a promotion where we try to find an individual who is on the streets based on audio clues. Live Eye is taking an iPhone, putting it in your pocket or in the mesh of a backpack, streaming through Ustream to the station site, and finding an individual based on live, real-time video. In DC, as Mr. Diven had talked about, we have a YouTuber as the night talent. Her name's Elizabethany. She's nuts, which is why she's so good. She did Periscope for a Pair, which was her sitting in a park with a tablet seemingly working, and you found her based on the panorama that you were able to see. Beat you. Pumpkin drops. If you look at the first couple segments or years of David Letterman, he was into throwing shit off buildings. It seemed to work for him. I like this because there's a visual payoff, but you still have to listen to the radio. And I know I'm old school that way, but I think it's good. In the case of Halifax, they filled a pumpkin with several hundred golf balls, all numbered, and dropped it from a crane. The golf ball furthest from the target won a trip to the Playboy Mansion on New Year's Eve. TV loves this shit. Losing a digit. You can only do this once. Anytime you mess with the way you present the name of the radio station, it will get people's attention. So in the case of the station in Dallas, we flipped the website for a day. And it activated people. People called us, what's going on? It was, we outsourced it to India. We're going to fire all these people. If you lose the digit of a radio station, become, say, Power 96, the #1 CHR in Miami for 30 years, becoming Power 9 in all of their imaging, everything online. They took it off the vehicles. It got people's attention. Find the person who stole it, recover it, win $10,000. Live with. As a promotion director, I was lazy. I always like to have the listeners market for me. So giving a selected group of 20 or 30 listeners cutouts of the morning show to carry with them everywhere they go, job interviews, selling plasma, whatever you do, carry it with you. Earn points. Get a photo of you in the lobby of the competition, earn 300 points. Listeners on the streets can win daily prizes for catching you in snapping and posting and hashtagging. Or in Calgary, we found 20 people and put them in pink jumpsuits for 30 days. This will get people's attention. The prize was $5,000 and a trip to see Pink in Australia. It was a wonderful, wonderful way of doing, see, I'm doing good.
You're good, I'm on a zap.
Oh, bitch. Oh, okay. If you have people wandering the streets of your market wearing pink bodysuits, it will get people's attention.
Oh, that's close.
What I've discovered is that men can go out and do misogynistic things on our own whim. Women, you have to kind of create events or excuses or experiences. So in the case of San Francisco, after 10 years of multiple morning shows, we realized that the real franchise of the station was Renee, the midday talent. So one time we tried the Bachelor Night Out, 2,000 of her favorite listeners and 50 male strippers. It was one of those things where the next day we had to get together and all look at each other and went, holy crap. They do it quarterly. In the case of Rochester, New York, they do Dear Widow's Ball, the one weekend where all the men in Rochester go out and shoot deer, party for the women. In the case of Calgary, they flew a plane of listeners to Las Vegas for the night. 50 women, the women from the air staff. Ah, shit. I can't talk no more. They flew to Las Vegas. They got there at 7 p.m. They got hammered. They returned to work soaking. Shit. Okay, I'm moving. Exotic erotic ball. This was an idea that was co-opted from the sex industry's Halloween party in San Francisco. It is a Halloween party. Every liquor, every establishment that sells liquor is going to have a Halloween party. So you need a hook. The hook in this case, huge cash prizes. If you have huge cash prizes, you get the professional costume people, followed by naughty prizes. In Tampa, in the 3 days after the Exotic Erotic Ball, they got 1.8 million web views, which seems to support my premise or theory that semi-nudity works on the internet. Closest to the pinhead. Taking a morning DJ, putting him out on a golf course, having listeners hit golf balls at him. This is the reason I chose not to go into medicine. The person who was closest to him, without hitting him, won a trip. Closest to the pinhead. Lick It for Tickets, a great web contest. Every day you give out a theme. Tools, vegetables, automobiles, toilet seats. Every day, take a photo of yourself, and that's a million fetishes rolled into one. Take a photo of yourself licking something, hashtag, post, share. Random people win the prize. Gas Wars. We have prizes available to us that nobody in the real world will ever get to go to. Nobody will ever get to meet an artist. So what you do is you offer the opportunity to, say, to meet Justin Bieber, to the gas station owner who will sell gas for the cheapest price. In Minneapolis, we got it down to negative 10 cents a gallon. You got 10 gallons of gas and $1. Ha. Charging stations, very simple. We're always looking for excuses for people to stop at our events. We want them, especially in PPM, we want them to stop for a few minutes, be bombarded by our audio, and charge, and we can overthink pricing. Giving people electricity at an event works. The one on the left was built by the promotion director in his garage. I'm watching you. Photos set up for concerts. As a promotion director, I loved concerts because how often do you get 18,000 people? There's 2 ideas in this, so I get 2 minutes.
I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, a little later I'll put this on you. We'll talk, okay?
I might have to have a choice in that.
No. I've always liked concerts because, again, when do you have the opportunity to market yourself to all these people? What you find with most radio stations is they'll have their prize wheel or they have something else out there. In 2016, what people want is they want a place to get their photo taken. And this isn't necessarily rocket science. So Dierks Bentley was playing St. Louis. He had a song about drinking on a plane. So the show, or the station built a setup with seats from an airplane and flight attendants. Quote balloons. In Miami, they use those. Stand, get your photo taken with one. Ah, shit! I was supposed to have 2 minutes. Okay. And the one on the left, let me finish this one. The one on the left, shit, this hurts. The one on the left was the promotion director in Miami built a seat for The Voice. They had Maroon 5 coming in. For $30, he stole a seat out of a garbage can and built this. And it was amazing. He had long lines of people who wanted to get their photo taken care of. When you're at events, you want long lines of people. Much like this. VIP. For large events, and especially the women know this, by about noon, the porta potties are functified. So in the case of Seattle, Seafair is a huge event. We got our own porta potty, gave away VIP passes, and you got access to it. No lines. It was like Planet Hollywood. They had designer fragrances there. They had some candies and stuff. Again, we can overthink pricing. Plus, it was a nice hook. Name change. You can only do this once. But you will find situations where there will be a child in the community who needs to be spotlighted. In this case, it was a kid who was paralyzed in a hockey game. It was the #1 news story in the region. They changed for one day. People who had never heard of this radio station had changed their profile photo. In the case of Washington, D.C., in the case of Washington, D.C., it was a girl named Rachel who had leukemia. And somebody at the station had spotted that all of her classmates were going out and doing swabbing to find her a bone marrow transplant. So for one day, Hot 95.5 in Washington, D.C. became Rachel 95.5. And they swabbed close to 100,000 people at locations around town. You can only do it once, but it's an amazing thing. It's the stuff that Sirius can't do. And we find ourselves in situations where we try to out-Sirius. You can't. This is the stuff that wins. Win a baby. If they had said, 5 couples, we're looking for one who's having fertility problems, and you will win a $17,000 in vitro fertilization prize, it wouldn't have been as successful as this. And by the way, when you went to the website and clicked on it, the next image was of a little black baby. And it said, actual baby may vary. At the very end, all 5 couples were in the studio. They had cameras on them all. And they announced the winner. All 5 couples. For the next year, they were able to do post-promotion and announce new babies. It was really an amazing, great feel-good. The last contest, the biggest contest in U.S. history, it was named the last contest for no reason other than that the biggest movie in the country at the time was The Last Picture Show. It's a promotion also done as Last Prize Standing, where we take $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 and make it sound like $100 million. You sit down with a case of beer and a shock collar, and we come up with all these prizes. What can we buy for $10,000? Ha. What can we, no, I'll do it. Go ahead. Ah, shit. Did you notice that? I'm just having flashbacks to 3rd grade, stuff I forgot. You sit down and you come up with all these prizes. What we've done in 2016 is we've dumbed down stuff like winning $10,000. So in the case of the last contest, prize pack number 216. Win thousands and 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 thousands of dollars in cash. Instead of saying win a cherry red Corvette, it was a 60-second sexy description of this car and what effect it would have on your life. It was absolutely amazing. And the winner was going to get a pick of all those packages. When they finally did it, it shut down phone service to 40% of San Diego. Skydiving. We've so successfully dumbed down contesting that we can't get more than 7% of people to play. In the case of Houston, they had a car to give away. So we gave away 95 grids on the ground, and Sarah, the morning show, Sarah Pepper, what an amazing name, Sarah Pepper, skydove in. If she landed in your grid, you won the car. No, she asked what would happen if the parachute didn't open. I said the person who had the largest chunk of her land in their grid, and plus we'd name a studio after her, which is what we always do. I love to steal shit. I paid a security guard in Minneapolis to steal the toilet seat from Katy Perry's bathroom and give it away. Again, 1,000 fetishes in one contest. Sleep with Mariah Carey. First of all, who hasn't? Second of all, in the case of San Francisco, I got the hotel to give me her bed after she checked out. We replaced it with a traded out bed. You know that somewhere in the Bay Area, I'm taking this off now, you know that somewhere in the Bay Area, there's somebody who has her bed and still brags about it. Years ago, I stole a pizza box from a production room at a New Kids on the Block concert. Got on the air the next day and said, we're giving away Little Joe's pizza box. It might have been, who knows. Phones exploded, and somewhere in the Carolinas, 25 years later, there's a middle-aged woman with a greasy pizza box in her closet. Sleep with is amazing. Bon Jovi did it. You got the autographed bed sheets off his bed. There's any number of different ways to do it. And that was my session. I came out 2 minutes short.
Okay, that's great. I do see, just as a bit of a disclaimer here, I just want to stop that share. For some of the reason, well I know I don't know why this particular session is going to cut me off in, it says 7 minutes. But then I'm going to record a second one as well, and just have a look and see why exactly Zoom is kind of well, it's blocking me, right? So I'll do a couple more minutes just to go back to the slides, then we'll do like a part 2 here as well. Hope you enjoyed it. That was very, very cool. I do apologize for his profanity. At least he didn't say really, really bad words, but okay. Clearly, definitely, obviously clearly allowed at that festival, whatever it is. Okay, so great idea. It's like, I mean, obviously, particular stations cannot do station promos like that with the strippers and this and whatever it may be. But really, really, really clever ideas. And great ways to really just involve both, obviously the station, maybe obviously the talent in as well, and the listeners, and obviously again, just tying that up into what a client would definitely will match up to, and be able to just like have fun and partner up with us in. Okay, so let's look at let's see, maybe this is first slide, and then I'm going to stop the presentation. We'll have a part 2 then. Okay, so one, obviously want to come up with an idea. Research previous promotions that are done, like we just had a look here. It's always great to be able to just kind of like piggyback off an idea, not because you want to copy and paste it. Some of the things that he had mentioned in that particular video, we've bought those ideas here in South Africa. So you buy the idea, like for example, The Fugitive was bought from the UK, and it was run here for many, many, many years by 947 in a particular case. So I'm saying as a particular example, right? And so many of the other ideas that we do actually hear. So like the sound of Durban and the sound of Cape Town, the sound of Joburg, are actually all the same thing, right? There are obviously the Christmas wishes that are all the same format, whatever it is, and they're not original ideas at all. They're actually paid for or bought by ideas that have been constructed by somebody else, somewhere else, right? And anyway, but the thing is that we do listen and we do hear other people doing those things. Just listening to these particular ones, we can come up with a lot of great ideas that maybe match, perhaps maybe better match our audience and our station, right? Put your own unique twist to previous ideas and generate fresh, fun, and engaging promos. So you can also think about what people need and what you want to accomplish. So see whether they need more money, if they need the car, if they need like an experience with a celebrity, if they would like these things, because you already have analyzed them and broken them down within your listener research, right? That we started looking at in the beginning of the year. So you have this information and you know your listener very well. And so you'll be able to choose things that you know that they will respond to or would like in their, obviously to have in their own life, right? So here's an example of thinking about your listeners' needs. Not everyone can afford Christmas presents. A relevant radio promotion might only involve asking listeners to share reasons why they can't afford presents this holiday season. And then what you're going to do is create a contest where the winner walks away with like a shopping voucher, which is cool. Secondly, you can use promos to accomplish these particular goals. And again, there's always that we have to be very, very careful with things like this because a lot of people have very, very difficult lives and a lot of really hard stories to share with you. And the promotions team or the PR team will have to be very careful in how they select and also how these listeners are aired too. So we're gonna, and that's a whole discussion on its own, which we will talk about throughout, obviously, our learning here. You know, I'm saying in this particular segment, I'm saying this little arc of our learning under promotion scale. Let's just quickly finish number one, and then we'll go into the second recording. If you want to promote your radio app, offer listeners who download and use your app a chance to win money or other prizes. You've seen this; it's very common, right? So download the app. Well, maybe you stand a chance of winning 40,000, 10,000, 5,000 bucks, whatever it is. Register for our whatever it is, and you'll win maybe possibly 5,000, 10,000, excuse me. And to get more likes and comments on social media, create a post and reward people who share the post on their public profile or tag a number of their friends, right? This is also very common. It's actually quite annoying, but it is effective. I'm saying it's annoying as someone who now must go and then, well, in my sense, I feel like I'm irritating the three other people that I might be tagging as well. It's also a bit of a like on Instagram, you have to share it to your story, so it becomes a little impractical where it would work better. Ideal on a space like let's say Twitter or X or Facebook, but most people actually do not respond to competitions that are run on Twitter or Facebook as much as they would on TikTok or on obviously the station site or on Instagram itself. Okay, before I run out of time, because it's 1 minute 34, let me stop it over there. We'll come to the second recording.